to me, baby. Come on. Let's move that over there. Recording. Hey, good morning, guys. We're going to go over some time and sales information and kind of how I use it. One of them that I'm looking at today is ABEO, and they had a price target analyst upgrade by H.C. Wainwright, $15 a share price target, which is, I don't think it's going to hit that today, but currently closed at $2.29. So if we look at this particular one and we look at our time and sales, we can see the gap, the spread, 236, 225. And whenever I'm looking to place an order for market hours, this is something that I'm paying very close attention to. Level 2, you can see that we still have a wide spread, 236 on the ask, 216 on the bid. But here's our actual spreads. We could put in an order for 225 and hope for that. We're just before the bell. We just got a little over a minute to go. And price targets, analyst upgrades, if they're significantly higher than where it's currently trading, usually it'll work its way up, depending on geopolitical events and whatnot. But usually they'll work their way up. So I see this one being a bit choppy initially. My volume's not real huge compared to, say, some of these others like YRIV. Take a look at what it's been very busy this morning. Here's early pre-market, peaked at 118. But we're going to focus on ABEO for a second. So, analyst upgrades. That's one of the things that we can look for with our live news. If you get in early, logged in, one of my systems is to have the live news up, and then I just pay attention to what's scrolling. I have that going. I do this almost every day that I plan on trading. And if you do it on a regular basis and start keeping notes and paying attention to what's going on, you'll get a good feel of how to use the live news. So ABEO, there's the bell, 213. A little bit of profit taking going on because it's up. Let's look at the quick 5-day. Up and down, up and down. You've had the price action, little spikes. There's a good entry point, 211. Let's go back to our 1 day, 1 minute. Just blow that up. 216. So that tells me that it's starting its little fish hook. We dropped down to 212. We're currently trading at 216, so it's actually coming back up some. So if I was going to put in a buy order right now on something like this, it's had the analyst upgrades, this would be a good time for me to get in. The 216 mark. Let's look at some of these others. Usually after the bell, I switch from volume to percentage change. So our biggest loser for today is CanTrust. I think everybody knows what's going on over there, right? Pot stock, they had their little legal issues. They're running into problems. That's on my today's picks to watch. Then our biggest gainer is YRIV. Let's zoom out of that. There's our confirmation for that one, right? But looking at the catalysts that we have and using our catalysts as a way to narrow down which ones we're looking at. APOP, Collect Bio, they've got their phase 1-2 trial, passes a safety hurdle. That's why it's up 45% pre-bell. Usually when something's up that big, it's going to pull back. Profit taking going on. Let's see. One looked at this morning was FULC. They also have a nice price target. It's by Morgan Stanley. It was announced at $29 a share, which is currently $12.21. It's up 5% so far. And so if you're looking just at the price targets and analyst upgrades, percentages is what I'm looking at. That's what I'm using. You know, that price target is a little over 120% above, 150% above where it's currently trading. Well, then we look at this one, $15, where it's currently at, $2.18. So that's a heavier catalyst for this one just because of the difference between where it's currently trading and where the price target is announced. And the other thing that I keep in mind is who the analyst is. I think it was IMUX. This morning, the news said that Charting Capital initiates coverage on them with a $40 price target, currently at $13. But if we look at our chart, say our 30-day chart, that may not be far enough out. Let's go a little further. Let's go 90 days. There we go. And July 11th is when they had this happen again. Charting initiated coverage on July 11th. And on that particular day, it was right at $10, and it shot all the way up to $19. Almost doubled just because of that analyst upgrade. There was no other catalyst that was announced that day. But now they have that same analyst re-announcing that they have initiated coverage and re-announcing their price target. So the question I would ask that I'm looking forward to finding out is that going to have an effect again today? Because I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, well, it's not going to be that big of a catalyst. And so far, looks like we're correct. So ABO, it's doing its pullback, but I have a strong feeling that this one's going to turn around and then come back up. As a matter of fact, I'd be surprised if we don't beat that pre-market high of 239. I'll be totally shocked. H.C. Wainwright is somebody that I consider one of my favorite, analysts. And obviously Oppenheimer and J.P. Morgan. So anyway, using time and sales. Whenever I'm using that, I always have that open. Don't trade without it. So you can see exactly where it's at. Because if I'm just looking at the charts, it's hard to tell what exactly is going on. I'm kind of guessing. So here we have our pullback, 212. We're basically trading horizontally. I see them coming up. CanTrust, our biggest loser today. I told some friends I was expecting a dead cat bounce, and it looks like that's what we got. Our pullback down to 218, and now it's at 232. Nice little bounce. YRIV, yeah, whatever. That's not somebody that I'm interested in. Dare, no, they looked pretty cool. If you know anything about FDA's Let's pull that up. I'll explain it to you. That Q-dip is kind of an interesting thing. QIDP, Qualified Infectious Disease Product designation by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration for the treatment of BV in women. So that the FDA will have their different designations for the drugs that are in trial processes. And their designations basically just means that, hey, we're going to give you more of a hand-to-hand approach. We'll guide you on this a little bit closer, or we'll give you certain incentives. But, all right, let's focus on the video. 212, 213, nice drop. Just takes a little bit for this stuff to develop, That's why we got to be patient. We don't have our volume confirmation push. Sometimes we'll see something, and, myself included, we'll be like, okay, I'm going to trade off what I think is going to happen. Well, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose on that, As a matter of fact, most of my losses have been from that kind of trade, I think it's going to do this, so I'm going to buy it now. Whereas if I'd have waited until after the bell and got my pullback, I could have had a really nice entry. So don't trade off of what you think is going to happen. Trade off of what you see is going to happen. Risk tolerance, risk management. I tend to trade risky sometimes, but I'm not doing this for a living. I'm just doing it for the practice, I guess, currently. But someday I'll do it for a living. I wish that one would just hop. Let's look at volume. Let's see who's moving. Oh yeah, I called that one out this morning in Zip. Rocket potential, and there it goes, At the bell, we had our pullback down to 576. And then we had nice volume pushes after. So we could have got in 580 maybe, and it peaked at 685 already. You could have made $1 a share right there. That's not too shabby. Let's see. Yeah, we just had another analyst upgrade. Let's take a look at that. CARA. H.C. Wainwright. They cut their price target to 30 from 31, maintains a buy rating. Well, yeah, okay. No biggie. There we go. Now you see your current prices. We're still moving sideways. So that's where I would be looking for the volume push up here pretty quick. All right, well, I'm going to put you on pause, let this develop, and then I'll bring you back and we can discuss what we see. So right now we're moving sideways. If I have fun, it's going to push up. All right, see you in a bit. Okay, so let's come back, take another look. We had our sideways movement, followed by a nice little volume push. And we're at 223 now. I have a feeling that 239 is not going to be the high of the day. We'll just have to wait and see. But that fish hook, we talked about that. That's what's developing here. Let's zoom out so you can see a little better. See that? That's why we call it a fish hook. It's a good play. It's coming down. It's coming down. Trade sideways, and then you get your little volume push up. So using time and sales lets us see what exactly is going on. So we saw it coming down. We hit the 212. Then we was chopping it around 214, 215. And just with the catalyst, we know that, hey, here's a good point. Here's a good entry point. And we can kind of anticipate once we learn how to evaluate catalysts. And so to educate you on that, if you have a price target of 15 and it's only at 220 or something, it's probably going to move up. I mean, don't gamble on it, but it's probably going to move up because of the percentages. And it's, who it is that calls it out is something that I pay attention to. That IMUX, let's go back to that one. We're not seeing a whole lot going on here. Look at time and sales. Whereas on July 11th, shoot, man, that was like lit up like a Christmas tree. It was trading at 10 something on July 11th, and they initiated coverage, and it did still. But now we've got the same analyst using the same price target, saying the same thing, and everybody's like, yeah, okay, already been there, done that. There's other better plays. So this may actually move up some today, but it's not moving like it was. On July 11th, it went from 10 something a share to 19 something a share within 90 minutes of the bell. Well, we're not getting those results today. Not out of this one, because it's just a replay of the same thing. Abeo, well, let's take a look at our news on that. Fast track designation on June 18th. Here's an analyst. Price target cut to 14 from 26 on July 9th. Let's just take a quick look. Have to go 90 days. See what effect that had, right? Not much. Here was the 9th. Not much. Positive data, 725. Let's go out just a little bit. There, it peaked up to 449 before the bell, and then it just people taking profit. So taking a look at the catalyst, and then pulling up your charts and seeing what happened. Learn to read your catalyst. 725 RMAT meeting coming up. Let's see. 725. Yeah, same day. And then we got our HC Wainwright for today, $15 price target. So I expect it's going to climb today just because of that, barring some geopolitical catalyst that moves the markets down. But we have our confirmation. Lower volume confirmation. They're a little harder to read sometimes compared to, say, something like that, where it's been trading all morning, all pre-market. A lot of activity all pre-market. Then as we approach the bell, profit taking, move sideways, and then we see that volume candle. Then we had a confirmation. So we went from about 54 to 62. That's nice. That's a nice little percentage change there. And then now it's coming back again. So it may present it again to move sideways. 56. This is what I would consider a weaker catalyst. Phase 1 and 2 trials. Whereas if it makes it to phase 3, or maybe even NDA submitted that the FDA accepts. So this is one to just follow for the future. Keep in mind it's going to have future catalysts. Also, biopharmcatalyst.com lets you see a lot of the different drug companies and where they're at in their trials. DARE, that was another one I pointed out this morning, right? Low volume. Now that RKDA, wow, it had a catalyst on Friday. Shares continue soaring after the USDA approval of a drought-tolerant soybeans. Well, soybeans is kind of a big thing on the markets, right? Commodities. So YRIV, weak catalyst, you know, but how you put it, you can play some of these heavy fast movers with like a little trail stop, you know, or an OCO, but this one I'm not trading at all today. I just weak catalyst, move on, you know. So let's look up the catalyst right quick. AXGT, I seem to recall something there. Yeah, Baird, another analyst, upgrades. They lowered the price target, but it was still an upgrade, so it's going to move up some today. It should have, you know, it may already be that $7 may be the high of the day, or it could just kind of have a slow climb. Or GS earnings, revenue increased 95%, but look at time and sales. Nothing's going on over there right now. If it's not actively trading, I don't trade it. You know, it's a gamble. Same thing with OTC stocks, over-the-counter stocks. Let me pull up one of those for you right quick. Try to think of one. Tell you what. Let's see here. $328 maybe. I bet I got something in there. Nope. Dig deeper. Dirt cheap QB. Let's look at that. All right, number 9. I'll show you some over-the-counter stuff. Like, see? Let's go 10 days. It's not actively trading. I'm not doing OTC. Here's another OTC stock. It's not actively trading. That one's on the NASDAQ. It's got some movement going on, but not a lot. Low volume. All right. OTC, nothing. The main thing about OTC stocks, you can have volume. Look at that volume right here. See the numbers of share sizes? That one's actually got a little bit of movement. Kaylee, that should ring some bells to some people. Time and sales is not lit up, you know. Use otcmarkets.com if you're trading OTC and see if they say anything about caveat emptor, something along those lines. I avoid. Right. They'll also let you know if they consider it a pump and dump, stock promotion. Yeah. So there you go. Time and sales, critical. I'm not going to put in an order on something. I mean, you put in a buy order for 9 cents, it'll get filled. But no way, Jose. Number 1 rule in trading is protect your capital. And the easiest way to do that is to trade actively traded tickers. If it's not actively traded, if time and sales isn't lit up like this one, you know, liquidity is key here. Where you can get in, up, and out. The one I did trade this morning, a Bayo. We'll see if I'm right. I think it's going to exceed that 239. But it's actively traded. It's moving sideways again. Okay, hopefully this helps a little bit. Using time and sales where we're at just kind of lets you have a mental picture of the chart before it actually shows up on the chart. I think that's about everything I can show you. Oh, one more thing. Let me show you something about orders on Thinkorswim. We can do what I call advanced trading. edit your buy order. You can change that from a single order to a first trigger sequential. And so come over here, create opposite order. So you can have your buy, put in your limit price, or you can make it a market order if it's a really tight spread, you feel comfortable with that, but limit orders are really good. So then you can take your second order and you can create a trail stop. You can either go by, pennies or a percentage to where it just follows the trail stop, follows the price. And then whenever you hit confirm and send, you'll have both orders in there at the exact same time, and you can move on to your next target. That's the beauty of these. You can have your order, execute it, and then you don't even have to watch it. You have your trail stop, it's going to exit out whenever it comes back down. So if you execute that order at the confirmation, you have your little watch list going on with a few of them that you're watching. Maybe you have a multiple chart setup going on. Let's see here. Double grid. So if you're watching more than one, you have confirmation on one and you're waiting on it for the other one, that's the way to go. Advanced orders, in, up, and out. All right, that's it, guys. I think that's about it. Have a great day. See you next time.